Hey, ladies. How are you tonight? It is, wow, Tuesday. It's been a crazy week already. Yesterday, I posted a video about on how to download my FitnessPal and get started using it and setting it up. Because, I've tracked everything since I started this journey. And I don't plan on giving it up anytime soon. Sorry. For those of you who are dead set against tracking, I want to talk to you, and I want to talk to you about why I track and why I harp on tracking. Um, and yes, I harp on it. That is my thing, ladies. So I've told you guys the story. By the way, I'm Coach Michelle. For those of you who are new and haven't seen me in here, I am the wild, often unicorn wearing woman that has started this program called Become a MacroUnicorn, because I really wish I would have found macros much, much earlier in my weight loss journey. I have lost 100 pounds 3 times. And I was put on my very first diet at the age of 9 with a very dedicated list of the foods that I could eat and the foods I couldn't eat. And if I ate anything off that list, I was being horrible. Well, guess what? I hate lists of foods I cannot have. I hate lists of foods that I can have. I want to know that I'm filling my body with good stuff. But don't tell me I can't have something, because then I'm going to go eat it all. So I use macros to allow me to have what I want to have and stay on track. That means maintaining my weight. That means losing weight. That means all of that good stuff. Now, I want to tell you that yesterday's video was how to set it up. But today I got a message, and I shared the message from Jen in the group earlier today. She has fought me on counting macros, counting calories in my FitnessPal for I don't know how long. Every time I bring it up, she'd get angry with me and say, "No, I can't track. It's too confining. I don't want to track. I don't want to track." Did you guys see what she shared today? She shared that it gave her freedom, that she couldn't believe how free she felt. So really, that's what happened with me. By tracking what I was eating, it got rid of that list of things I couldn't eat, and it gave me that ability to pick and choose. I have a sweet tooth. I tend to eat Quest bars. If you have a sweet tooth and you want to bust the cravings, macros help with that, because one thing that causes cravings is not getting enough balance of proteins, fats, and carbs, which is what we track. Another thing that causes cravings is too much even natural sugar in the diet. You can find that out if you're tracking. Another thing that causes cravings are habits that we have that cause us to eat. Yes, but those are emotional cravings. There are also physical cravings for sweets, and those physical cravings typically occur because we're not getting enough balance in the macros. So I like to say with macros, you can lose weight consistently, you can bust cravings, you can break plateaus, and you can balance your hormones. Because if your hormones are out of whack and you're losing your hair while you're losing weight, you're not getting enough calories. B, you're not getting enough fat in your diet. And how do you know this? You don't know unless you're tracking what you eat. So that is why I track. I started losing my hair. My hormones were all out of whack, and I wasn't losing weight even though I was on a way low diet. And then I balanced everything out. This was kind of in the middle of my weight loss. I hit what I thought was a plateau. I wasn't eating enough calories for my body to keep the metabolism burning. Because in order to keep your metabolism burning, you have to eat just enough calories to lose weight, but not so many calories that you're gaining weight. It's this balancing act. So for me, without tracking what I was eating, I had no clue what my body needed. I didn't know I was eating too little fat, so my hair was falling out. Now it's just turning gray, but you know, I'm a grandma. It's okay. So I wasn't eating enough fat. My hair was falling out. I wasn't getting enough calories. So I was actually, my body was turning my muscle into fat. And at one point I was even what I would call a skinny fat, because my body was actually turning the muscle into fat, even though I was losing weight. So I was gaining inches, but losing weight. It was just craziness. So without tracking, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know if you're getting enough. You don't know. You're getting enough to lose weight, maybe. Maybe you're getting enough to lose 5 pounds, but then you get all hangry and, you know, deep dive into the fridge. If you're on a program where you are tracking what you're eating and you're eliminating the physical cravings because you're eating what your body needs, and you're balancing out your hormones so that you are, if you're eating correctly, your body will actually, I lost my comments. Hold on just a second. Just in case anybody asks a question, I want to be able to answer you. You know, you don't know if you are getting enough to balance your hormones out. You get all of these things in line and things start happening a little smoother. If you are having issues losing weight, you may think you're eating few enough calories, but you could be eating too many. Or maybe you're not eating enough. Or maybe you're not eating enough of the right calories for your body to allow you to lose weight. Maybe you need more fats. Maybe you need more protein. Maybe you need more carbs. But if you don't know what you're actually doing on a daily basis, including those moments where mindset takes you, you know, in the dumper and you eat something that quote unquote you're not supposed to eat, if you're tracking it, you know exactly how much you went over. You know, well, maybe you don't. Do you know that it takes you have to cut your calories down 3,500 calories to lose a pound? Which means you have to cut your calories down 7,000 calories a week to lose 2 pounds. Which means in order to gain 2 pounds, you have to eat an extra 7,000 calories. Now, I don't know a whole lot of people that can sit down and eat 7,000 calories in a meal to gain 2 pounds. I do know a whole lot of people that can eat maybe an extra 500 calories and 200 calories show up on the scale the next day, or 2 pounds show up on the scale the next day, but that's not actual pounds. Our scale goes like this. What you really want it to do is go like this, because I'm sorry, ladies, our bodies are not built to do this. No matter what you try to do, your body, you're never going to start here and go directly down here. It's gonna wiggle, but it's the trend line that you're looking for. You won't know what your trend line is if you're not weighing yourself. You won't know what your trend line, what the effects of the food have on that trend line unless you're tracking what you're eating. The next level of tracking what you're eating is tracking what kinds of foods you eat in the tracking of what you eat. So that when you track your calories, that's this level. When you track your macros, you give yourself this much more information. Because there's this other thing that I'm actually going to touch on later in this week. Tomorrow there is a pre-recorded video of how to use your scale with a couple of tips and tricks in there. And I pre-recorded it because you have no idea how hard it is to get a house quiet with 4 people, 5 dogs, and 2 of those people are teenagers. And I had to do it in the kitchen, which there's a reason for my office. Any of you guys have teenagers and know? Yeah. And 5 dogs? Let me tell you, there is a reason for my office. I can shut my door and the one dog that's down there on the floor never makes a peep. The only time he moves is when I move. So the pre-recorded video will drop tomorrow at this time. But here's the thing. The reason I'm focusing on this is I've noticed this trend. People do so well when they focus and put their blinders on. You know what I mean? Those moments where, particularly at this time of year, I'm telling you, this time of the year is the worst time of the year. This is the time of the year where every gym is packed, every diet food place is full of people buying diet foods, and everybody's doing things extreme. I don't want extreme. Even with Become a MacroUnicorn, I'm not saying to get your macros perfect. No. I'm saying know what macros work for you and use it as a guide. You don't have to be exact, but you do, if you use the macros the right way, then you do learn what your body needs and what you feel good on. And education is power. Knowing what your body needs helps you bust those cravings, helps you bust those plateaus. And when you start seeing success and it's consistent, it helps with those thoughts in the head. It helps you remember that there's a why that you're doing this. It helps you get that little spark of excitement because you're seeing success. And then you can address those things like sabotaging yourself. You can address those things like feeling like life is taking you off track and feeling like you don't have a choice. Unless somebody is holding a gun to your head, you have a choice whether you put that donut in your mouth or not. But working with yourself to solve what makes you feel like you don't have a choice can happen a lot easier if you're tracking, and as you're tracking, you remember every single time you go off track, you're not eating 7,000 calories. So, I want to applaud Jen for telling me what she told me today because she rocks. She is amazing. She is taking those little tiny habits and building on them. And the fact that she has started tracking and she is starting this new piece this year is amazing. I'm pretty sure Angela is also tracking. I'll have to tag her in the video so we can find, or tag her in the post so we can find out. But as people start tracking and get consistent with it and track, even when it's not perfect, track when it's not perfect because you don't get a true story. Quit judging yourself for not being perfect because nobody's perfect. Nobody. I tracked an extra cup of grapes today. On Christmas, I tracked 2 pieces of cheesecake and a piece of cherry pie, plus all the other stuff I ate. You don't have to be perfect. What you've got to do is get consistent 90% of the time, and then that 10% where you're not, it's okay. Because remember, our weight does this. And even in maintenance, I do this. I'm within a 15 to 20 pound window, 10 up, 10 below. I ride that. I go up and down and up and down and up and down. I don't care that I gain 10 pounds because in a couple months I'll be down 20. My body does not ride a straight line. I can weigh myself every day for a week and it has a different weight on the scale. But I know where my statistical median is Mean, median, mode, mean, mean. My statistical mean is I weigh 138. Now that means I could weigh 145, 146, possibly 147. But then that also means I could weigh 120 something. But my clothing size doesn't really change. Striving for perfection does nothing but get you an extra 100 pounds. We have to strive for being human and being consistent and being healthy most of the time, and then ride that, that wave and get it so that while you're losing weight, your wave does this. And then when you're maintaining it, it does this. But you won't know it's doing this unless you track it. Now, I did this on my weight loss on my own. I'm going to tell you that there is research that says those people who track what they eat and track their weight during both weight loss and maintenance have a tendency to maintain their weight loss longer. I can tell you every single time I stopped tracking and stopped paying attention, I gained. Huge. I gained a ton of weight. My goal for you is to find a happy medium, to find your dream, follow it to its conclusion so that you can learn there is no conclusion. You're not on a diet. You're creating a new lifestyle. My lifestyle continues to include counting calories and counting macros. Am I counting calories because I'm on a diet? No, I'm counting calories to make sure that I don't go 7,000 calories over in a week. I count my workouts and I count my calories. Am I extreme about it? No, I took a handful of grapes and said it was a cup. Now there was a time where I weighed everything. I don't necessarily weigh everything now, but when you first start out, you have to weigh everything because you don't have that intuitive ability to know how much you have. Once you start to build in that intuitive ability to know what you're holding in your hand, as long as you continue to track it, because I don't know about you, but I personally can't remember what I did for breakfast this morning unless I open MyFitnessPal. So, being that most of the people in my world tend to be my age or older, you know what they say about the memory? It's the first thing to go. So, my memory is shot. I'm not going to remember what I ate throughout the day unless I track it as I'm doing it. So an extra 100 calories here or there at the end of the day can make a big difference, particularly when you're trying to lose weight. So tracking all of these things seriously helps you reach your goal and then helps you maintain it after the fact so that you're not sitting there going 6 months from now, well, crap, how'd that happen? I gained it all back. Well, that happened because you weren't paying attention. If you aren't paying attention, that's what happens. I know, I've done it twice. Gained 100 pounds back in, the 4 months it took me to lose it. Then I gained it back a second time in the 6 months it took me to lose it. I'm no stranger to dieting. What I do now is not dieting. It is a healthy lifestyle. There is no doctor coming to me and saying, Michelle, here is your list. You may have salad, powdered eggs, limited diet salad dressing, and 1 serving of meat a day. And yes, that's about the 900 calories that they put me on when I was 9. I can still picture the paper in my head. It still gives me the heebie-jeebies. Do I have mental problems? Maybe, because, you know, what person puts a 9-year-old on a diet and one that strict and one 900 calories? So I don't like to be told not to eat something. Macros give me the ability to eat basically anything I want. I choose 90% of the time to eat whole foods made with love, or maybe even more than that. I choose now to eat foods that I have always considered healthy and thought it was a bad word. So I want you to sit down and think a little bit why you are so, if you are against tracking, I want to know why. I want you to share with me in the comments why you're against tracking, because I've heard a lot of stories, but I've also heard people turn around like Jen and say, I was so dead set against this, but the way you do it and the way you encourage us to do it gives me freedom. Now, Jen didn't say those exact words, but she's feeling the freedom of knowing what she's eaten, where she should be, and having that flexibility of saying, okay, it's 2:00 in the afternoon, I'm starved. Where am I? If I eat this, what will be my choices later? And that is what tracking gives you. You have to make a conscious choice to put the food in your mouth if you're going to track it. And a lot of people come to me and say that I just found myself in the cupboard. Well, if you get kind of firm with yourself and say, everything I eat, I'm going to track, and carry your phone with you and make sure that, you know, even if you find yourself in the cupboard and you're eating, if you track it, the next time you're going to think, well, crap, last time I did that, I wasn't overly happy with the outcome. It helps train you to make better choices by tracking. And one of the things I like about MyFitnessPal is if you're pulling it out of the cupboard, it's got a label on it. You can shoot a picture of the label and it will automatically put it in with the appropriate serving size. And then you can determine what your serving size is going to be. Because how many of us actually eat according to serving size? Come on, get real. Nobody eats according to serving size. I even eat more sugar snap peas than is one serving when I sit down and eat sugar snap peas and hummus. So I record the number of sugar snap peas I eat, but I eat more than a serving. But you know, you're supposed to have 12 servings of fruits and vegetables a day to fuel your body correctly. So I call that, you know, my body's happy because I'm getting way more fiber than I'm supposed to get. Because you're supposed to have 25 grams of fiber in your body. So sugar snap peas have a whole ton of fiber. It's really good. So anyway, all right, I get off my soapbox now, but I wanted to come in here and talk to you guys about tracking. It's so key. Tracking is like, it's that thing that we all think we don't want to do, but then it provides this freedom that we don't realize we're going to get. So I want you to consider that freedom and realize that I'm not saying that there's not other pieces going on, but sometimes you have to balance them out. You have to say, okay, I have cravings. Are my cravings because I'm not eating right? Or are my cravings coming from a habit I've created over time to solve my problems with food? I was the queen of coping with food. So that is the question for you guys. I am going to send you off with love and hugs and the gentle reminder that you can do anything for 5 minutes. It's those small, consistent steps that you take every day that are going to get you to your goal. So you guys have an amazing Tuesday night, and I love you bunches. Bye.